Alright, if you're a Led Zeppelin or a Jimi Hendrix fan, I'd like you to listen very carefully to the following comments that Jimmy Page made about Jimi Hendrix in an interview conducted in 1990. Let's listen to Jimmy Page talk right now.
Well, with guitarists, there's usually innovators, or there's the one who comes along at a particular period of time who can sort of capture everything that's going on at that particular period of time and sort of put it into a melting pot and come out with like something that appears to be very new, you know. Well, he certainly did that in his very early days, you know, as far as I can see.
Alright, so that's one of the first points that Page makes about Hendrix in this very interesting interview segment. And what he's saying there is that Jimi Hendrix was a generational guitar player in terms of innovation and vision, that he completely transformed the instrument and that he was kind of a bridge from one way of looking at the guitar to a new way. Now let's listen to Jimmy Page continue talking.
And he went on from that to be quite an innovator, most certainly in the recording studio. In fact, that was the thing that impressed me the most. In the early days, he was so far ahead of anybody else with his recording techniques, and he was pretty damn sure that he was going to get it across as well. I mean, there's little segments like the God's Made Love, you know, which is so beyond anything that anybody had done at that point. And I really thought, after he passed away, that, you know, like another sort of 5-10 years' time, people would actually recognise the technological aspect of that, but it actually hasn't come across so much.
Okay, so what's kind of interesting about that segment of the interview is that he focuses on Hendrix's studio brilliance. And by this, he doesn't just mean his ability to play the guitar in the studio or to record the guitar in the studio. He means his ability as a studio genius, as a producer, as an innovator, as an engineer, as an arranger, as someone who had complete mastery over the studio. Now, what I would like you to do is put both of those observations together. The first being that Jimi Hendrix was a generational visionary. The second being that he was a studio genius as well as being one of the greatest virtuosic guitarists that ever lived. When you put both of those together, you can see what Jimmy Page is driving at. He's saying that it was Hendrix's ability to kind of get ahead of the game, both as a musician and as a studio visionary, that makes him a once-in-a-lifetime talent. And by saying this, Page is showing that he not only has great admiration for Hendrix's playing, but for his overall vision and genius. Now, one of the factors that comes into play here is how much does this influence Page and his work with Led Zeppelin, given that he's making these comments about a contemporary. Well, I think that what he did was, rather than choose to follow in his footsteps by, using a lot of feedback and a tremolo arm, Page chose his own route of innovation, which relied more on an alchemical blending of musical styles and using his studio musicianship versatility as a foundation for building a band rather than a unit that focused on a single performer. So while the Jimi Hendrix Experience is a great trio, it's Jimi Hendrix that matters. Led Zeppelin is a band from the very beginning for which Page wanted each member to have equal weight. So he chose to go in a different direction from Hendrix, but he saw what Hendrix had laid down as a marker for what was possible in rock music and blues-based heavy music at the time. This is what I think, but what really matters is what you think. So if you have an idea about this or any other topic connected to classic or contemporary music, please drop it in the section below, and remember to like and subscribe. Also, check out the join button that's available now. If you choose to become a channel member, you'll gain access to members-only badges, members-only polls, members-only videos, and other cool perks you'll see when you click on the button. You can also help out the channel by clicking on the Buy Me a Coffee link, going to the Buy Me a Coffee site, and leaving a donation. Every little bit helps this channel stay strong. Thanks a lot.